My name is Keith Warren, and I've killed more wild hogs using a larger variety of hunting methods than any other hunter. I love killing hogs, and I'm dang good at it. And if you watch this video in its entirety, I guarantee you'll become a more successful hog hunter too, no matter what method you choose. This video you're about to see is what I feel is the absolute best of the best when it comes to quality footage of wild hogs. So why do we kill hogs? This is basically for those out there that are opposed to hunting, and also for the people that simply don't know much about wild hogs. Hogs are destructive, and they have no natural predators. Hogs multiply quickly, and they destroy land and property. They are also hard on other species of wildlife as they destroy native habitat, and they many times eat other animals. It's not uncommon for hogs to eat deer fawns, game birds, rabbits, snakes, and virtually anything they want. Again, hogs have no natural predators, so hunters play a vital role in controlling the population. What's the benefit to hunting hogs versus deer? There's several benefits to hunting hogs in comparison to hunting deer. First off is the cost. Deer hunting is expensive, while hogs are much more affordable. The limit on deer in many areas is just one animal. While hogs, in most areas, there is no limit. Plus, you can hunt them any time of day or night in my home state of Texas. Lots of people prefer eating wild hog over deer. Now, hunting methods. Let's talk about hunting methods for feral hogs. The cool thing about hunting hogs is they can be hunted in a variety of ways, from archery gear to handguns, from air guns and small caliber arms, to long guns, to hogs with dogs, corn feeders, and even spears. In Texas, where I live, hogs can be hunted with just about anything you can imagine. But I need to advise you that no matter where you're hunting hogs, make sure and check with your state and local regulators to make sure that you're in compliance. Let's talk about senses. In order to be effective at killing as many wild hogs as possible, you must understand their senses and make sure that you don't underestimate them. Hogs are much smarter and have better senses than most hunters give them credit for. Their vision's pretty good. Not as good as a deer, but it's still pretty doggone good. They can detect movement, so it's for that reason, if you're going to be successful, you better move slowly if you have to move at all. I'd also recommend using camouflage that blends into your surroundings. A hog's sense of hearing is good. Although they themselves make lots of racket when they feed, they can detect any sound that is out of the ordinary, and they'll split faster than you can imagine. So be quiet. Without a doubt, the number one sense a wild hog has is their sense of smell. A hog's sense of smell is on par with a well-trained bird dog. They'll pick up the smell of a hunter so fast you won't believe it. And if they do, unlike other animals that may run off and just come back in a bit, a hog will be gone for good. It always amazes me how good their sense of smell is, and it's for that reason I take no chances. I always try to hunt with the wind in my face, and that's if I'm spotting and stalking or if I'm sitting in a stand. I use the wind to my favor. I also recommend that you do everything humanly possible to eliminate human odor, and it's that reason that I use scent killer as a staple in my arsenal of tools. So if you're watching this video, I hope you're learning something. Good Lord, I spend enough time with pigs. I hope I'm sharing it with you. So let's talk about the best time of year to hunt hogs. There really is no bad time of year to hunt hogs. And in states like Texas, where there is no hunting season on hogs, we hunt them year-round. I'll go over the changes and why we do what we do, starting with early in the year. In January, February, and into early March, there's little for hogs to eat in comparison to the warmer months. Vegetation is limited, and where deer hunters have had out deer feeders, hunting hogs around feeders is a great way to become successful. Another very effective way to hunt hogs early in the year is from the air. Although you can hunt hogs year-round out of helicopters in Texas, you'll be much more successful the first 2 to 2.5 months out of the year, because this is the time of year there's less foliage on trees, and hogs are much easier to spot and shoot from the air. So if you've ever considered doing a helicopter shoot for hogs, do so before the annual green-up starts, and you'll be happy you did. Speaking of green up, in Texas the green up period is between mid-March and mid-May. This green up is when leaves are now starting to pop out and all the new growth starts. Once this happens, hogs don't hit feeders as regularly and they are less predictable. When the green up starts, that's when I like to pull out the thermal gear, because that's when you find hogs rooting up fields and destroying crops, and they primarily do this at night. One thing you'll find out about heavily pressured hogs is that they can use the cover of darkness to do their movement, and the thermal gear will absolutely blow your mind how effective it is. Another way that we're very effective taking hogs during the green up period is with dogs. The dogs we use live to hunt hogs, and typically we start early in the morning when the weather is cool, and we hunt until the dogs get hot, and then we call it. When hunting with dogs, we like to use knives to dispatch the hogs. A good sharp knife with a rigid blade is the perfect tool to dispatch a hog quickly and ethically, and it is the safest way to kill a hog with a pack of dogs. Another way we like to hunt hogs during the green up period is out of tree stands or ground blinds. But generally speaking of these setups, we use bait. Although hogs can be killed over bait in the mornings, you'll have much better success just before dark. This is a good time to bring up game cameras. We use our game cameras year-round, and they're our best tool available not to waste time. Using a good game camera will provide you the detailed info as to when the hogs are coming and how many have been in the area. This info will allow you to be more confident about when and where to sit. Let's talk about summer months. Hunting hogs in the summer has been much more productive for me than during the green up period. I think it's because much of the new growth is now gone and dried up, and there's a void in available feed. This is when I have much better luck hunting hogs around water as well as areas where I feed continually. It's also a great time to do some spot and stalk hunting, because during hot months, hogs will generally lie up all day long in a cool spot while they wait on the sun to set, and I've killed my fair share of hogs spotting and stalking when it's really hot. Just remember, hunt with the wind in your face and move through the woods slowly. And keep your eyes peeled, because you won't believe how effective the hogs are at hiding. And I don't want to leave out that summertime is also a great time to kill hogs at night, because they'll be on the prowl to fill their bellies as soon as the sun goes down. All right, let's talk about hog hunting in the fall. This is a great time because the weather has started to cool off and the hogs move more freely in the cooler weather. Many deer hunters have already started putting out feed for deer, and the hogs will find it. This is when you can rely on pictures from your game camera to tell you exactly where and when you need to hunt. All right, shot placement. Making a good, clean, ethical shot on a wild hog is important, and in order to do this, you'll need to know exactly the right spot to shoot one. Naturally, when you shoot a rifle, it's much easier to kill a hog than when you're shooting a bow or an air gun. But it's still amazing to some people how well a hog can take a bullet or an arrow and run off never to be found. Several years ago, we made a video on shot placement on hogs that is extremely detailed and will give you a great idea of what the inside anatomy looks like. If you feel you can make what I call a brain shot, then do it. But realize that the area you're trying to hit is small, and you're trying to hit the brain, and it's about the size of an egg. A well-placed brain shot will drop even the biggest hog right in their tracks. And the best thing about the brain shot is literally there is no wasted meat. The best way that I find to make the brain shot is to take it when the hog is positioned sideways. If you have any questions, or maybe you even disagree with anything I said in this video, you know what to do.